Well, thank you for joining us again on Way of Wisdom, and we're in Proverbs chapter 15 still. And today we're going to just focus on some contrasts here, beginning with verse 18 on down through verse 22. Listen to these contrasts and decide what kind of man you want to be. It says, a wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger allays contention. The way of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. Well, there's a lot of contrast in this passage that we've looked at. A wrathful man stirs up strife. If you have trouble with anger, if you cannot keep your anger under control, there's a lot of things in life that would make us angry. There's a lot of things in life that should make us angry, but never out of control, never losing control to the point where we are characterized as a wrathful man. A wrathful man is always stirring up strife. No matter who he's with, no matter what the circumstance, if you haven't dealt with anger in your heart, if you have issues with anger, your life is going to be filled with strife, and everybody that's connected to you is going to have to deal with the strife that you're causing. Is that the kind of person you want to be? I don't think so. He that is slow to anger, he delays and puts off and helps diffuse contention. So will you pray today, Lord, help me to be in control of my emotions, especially this emotion of anger. Help me to be slow to get angry, not quick-tempered, because I don't want to be one that just causes strife all around me. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother, doesn't make her mother proud, doesn't pay attention to his mother's teachings. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Oh, that is a clever way of saying it. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment. In other words, foolishness sounds like fun to those who have no discernment. And their life is going to fall apart, and their life is going to become a lot more difficult because they've left the way of wisdom. They think foolishness is fun. Don't get caught up in the foolishness of the world. Walk in the wisdom of God. A man of understanding walks uprightly, walks with integrity, walks in righteousness. And then finally, there is this wise word to get good counsel. Maybe today you're facing a decision and you need to seek out some wise and godly counsel. Notice what it says, without counsel, plans go awry. In other words, without counsel, you can have really good ideas, but they go astray. And maybe they're not as good as you think. But when you get counsel from godly men and women, godly people in your life, then those plans can be established in the multitude of counselors. Don't be so proud you're not asking for the wisdom from others. Don't be so proud that you're not willing to submit your plans to those who are wiser and more experienced than you are. No matter how old you are, there's probably somebody somewhere that has been on the journey longer. Well, and certainly the authors of these scriptures, these passages give us eternal wisdom. So notice what it says, without counsel, plans go awry. So if you're planning on some big issue in your life or a major change in your life, submit to counsel. Get some godly, biblical people who will listen to what you're thinking of doing and pray with you about what you're thinking of doing so that your plans don't go astray, so that your plans don't get off track. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established. Another Proverbs talks about in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. In other words, you can really make firm your plans when you share them with other godly people. Not everybody, but godly, wise people. And that's another thought. How many godly, wise people do you have in your life? Don't live in isolation. Live in community. Live in the community of the local church, and there will be plenty of godly, older people that you can seek counsel from. If you're living in isolation, you are missing out on the benefit of the counsel of older people. And you young men that are starting businesses and running businesses or establishing careers of one kind or another, I encourage you to be actively involved in the local church in areas where you can get to know other older men who walked on the journey, who've run Christian businesses or been in Christian ministry, or they've established or been entrepreneurials or something, but they've done it from a godly perspective. They've also learned from their own mistakes. Share your plans with godly counselors. Young man, there's a church for you, and there's a family for you, and there's older men who can help mentor you, but you got to be open to that. So let's just close by looking at verse 22 again. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. That's just good practical wisdom. So seek out those that are wiser than you are. And guess what? For myself and most of us, it's not hard to find somebody wiser than me. We can find somebody wiser than ourselves. And then listen to their advice. Share your plans with people you trust. We need to live in community so that we can have wise counselors in our life. Well, God bless you as you appropriate these wise words to your daily life. Living, walking on the way of wisdom.
Worthy of it all.